Hello, my people. How y'all doing out there? Hope it's not too noisy for y'all. I'm at work right now. I'm actually a finance manager at a car dealership, and the reason I made this video because I've seen quite a bit of talk online about what they call predatory lending, and people call it people call predatory lending basically anything. Certain lenders, you have credit acceptance, Credit, Exeter, Santander, certain lenders that give out pretty high interest rates. Uh, Interest rates 22, 24, 26, 29%. I've seen. And see a lot of people be obviously upset at these different lenders and stuff like that when they get those type of rates. And I just had a couple things to say about that. One thing, uh, you guys don't have to take those rates if you don't want to. No one's forcing you to take that rate. And I think what happens is I think a lot of people take the rate not really understanding the what comes with that interest rate. When you have a high interest rate like that, you're probably gonna pay for that car or whatever vehicle you buy a couple times. You're probably gonna pay for it two or three times when you have a rate that's in the high 20s or something like that. So I've seen people actually paying on a car for like a year or two. They might have a 6 year loan, they pay on a car for a year or two, and that their actual payoff, they go to get rid of the payoff is actually higher than what the original loan started at because you accruing per day. So you accruing interest per day, and a lot of times people not on time with their payments. They're making the payments late. So all of that, so much of your payment is going to interest. And I want to say this. This is the thing. People with bad credit and no credit. This is the thing. You have to. People call it predatory lending. A lot of times, this is the only place that will give you a loan. So I tell people with a 400, 500 credit score, they work just as hard to get that as someone with a 700, 800 credit score. People with a 700, 800 credit score, they got that by being responsible. You got your 400 or 500 by not being responsible. It's nobody's fault that you have bad credit. It's based off decisions that you made in your life. You have to understand that. That's the first thing. I used to have a credit repair company and help people build their credit. And I used to do consultations where I'm listening to them talk about their bad credit. And one thing I noticed about them is always somebody else's fault. They never want to take responsibility. It's always, well, this happened, or this person did this, or I co-signed this, or they did it. Look, guys, you got to understand these were decisions that you made. You have to take responsibility. That's the first step to clean up your credit. You have to take responsibility. You have to understand, I put myself here. Nobody else put me here. It was my decisions. It was me getting that credit card when I was in college or when I was 20 years old and maxing it out and not paying it back. Even though now I've matured and I'm 25, that's still on my credit and it's still hurting my credit, which caused me to have to pay higher interest rates on, vehicles or something like that, which in turn, I go to get a vehicle because I'm paying that higher interest rate. I may miss a payment on that. Now it's just like a recurrent cycle and my credit stay bad. So the first thing, guys, you got to understand, you got to first take responsibility that you put yourself in this situation. Let's figure out how to get out. That's the big thing. I put myself here. Let's figure out how to get out. So that's the first thing. You got to take responsibility. I've I've been there before. That's how I know how to build credit. I've been there before. I've bought a car where I had a 23% interest rate, but I understood the gravity of this interest rate. I knew like I got to hurry up and get out of this. I just need this right now to help me build my credit, help me get going, and I need to refinance this as soon as possible. So at one time I had a couple things on my credit. I bought this car, uh, and I had a 23% interest rate, And with that 23% interest rate, I only had that loan for 4 months. I made the payments on time for 4 months. During that time, I had a few things to get off my credit. I was able to get those things removed and I was able to refinance it 4 months later. I bought the car in November. I was able to refinance it in February and I went from 23% to 4%. Now, I know a lot of people can't do that. I'll, just depending on what you have on your credit and whether you can get it off. But like I said, the first thing is taking responsibility. So the first thing you want to do, I always tell people when you have bad credit, you're gonna have to pay. You're gonna have to pay to get higher to get better credit. Nobody's gonna come. I get people that come into the dealership, they're a 600 Beacon, and they think obviously we know rates are high right now, and they think that they should get 6%. And I show them I got people with 750 Beacons, excellent credit. That right now, that's excellent credit. They're getting 5.96%. Why should you qualify for the same thing they qualify? You have to understand. You don't get that. You're you you get what you earned. Your credit earned you this. And we're not bashing on nobody. I'm just telling you guys, you got to understand that. So the thing is, you got to start making better decisions. And the first thing, knowing that you're going to have to pay a higher interest rate than somebody with better credit than you got to get something affordable. So get something you can afford. This ain't nothing you got to keep forever. You know how many conversations I've had with people who come in to buy a car and they say, hey, I want my, if I can get my car payment here. And it's like, here, I got a car that can get your car payment there because you're going to have a high interest rate. And it's like, no, I don't want that. I want this one. They want they want the fancy car where the payment going to be $800 or something like that, paying, 25% interest. When paying 25% interest, I can get you into a car where this payment might be 500. It's more affordable for you. And that way, if you can afford 800, you can pay extra, pay it off sooner, or you can be paying that 500. You can pay off other debt with this to try to improve that score so you can refinance this. This ain't got to be a dream car, but you don't want to be trying to finance a $30,000 car at 25% interest. You know how much you're going to pay for that car. So you got to be patient. That's a big thing too. You got to be patient. You got to know that it's not my dream car, but it's going to help me get to that next level. So one thing you want to do that will help, and this especially help for people with no credit, because people with no credit and people with credit, they get damn near the same interest rates a lot of the times. It is sometimes credit unions out there that you can go to for people with no credit, and they'll give you a, you know 14, 15% interest rate, maybe on a, something like that. But a lot of times they get high credit, high interest rates too. People with no credit, this is what I recommend for you. So if you have no credit, this is going to give you a boost. You have no credit, no score. If you have a family member that has a that have excellent credit, they have a credit card or something, a parent, a sibling, even a friend, if they can add you onto their card as an authorized user, now what that'll do, and they call that piggybacking back in the old day, but a lot of I did this for my kids. Now what they'll do, it'll get, and you let them know you're not going to get the card, you don't want to use the card. They can even take you off after a couple months, put you on, take you off after you get your car loan or whatever, or after you get your cars. That's fine. So say you have a parent with excellent credit, they have a Chase card with a $5,000 limit, no balance. They put you on that card. You're going to get that history from that Chase card. So it's going to show you as an authorized user, but it's going to give you a score. And that's what you want. It's going to give you a score. If that car has excellent history, you're going to come in with a 700 plus score. With that being the only thing on your credit, you're going to have a 700 plus score. You're not going to have a problem getting a loan through a credit union or through a bank. It's certain banks, they still going to look at you, first time buyer. But me as a finance manager, and any finance manager in the car business, you got a 700 score, I'm gonna be able to get you a pretty decent interest rate, even if you're a first time buyer. I got banks and credit unions that's gonna do that all day long. Like I say, not everyone will do that because you're first time, but I have multiples that will do that for a first time buyer. So that's not an issue. So that's one thing for people with no credits. I know people say, well, how do I get started? I got no credit. That's one thing. How I got started, I piggybacked off credit. I had a friend that added me to a credit card way back in 2007. Uh, Once they added me to that credit card, soon as that hit my credit, I started applying for my own credit cards. So that's the thing, because I wasn't planning on being on there forever. After 60 days, it took me off his credit card. I just asked the friend, hey, add me to your credit card, because I discovered this from reading about the piggybacking. Add me to his credit card. Boom, I went out and applied for all my own credit cards during that time period. End up getting all my credit cards. Now, boom, I got my own credit. Now you can take me off. Now I'm on my way. I'm established. I got my own stuff. That's what you want to do with that. You don't want to just get on there and sit on there, because once they remove it, your score gonna drop back down. So if you got to buy something, or if you need to buy a car or something, have somebody add you to their card. Go out, get the loan, buy the car. Go out, typically apply for you a credit card. Get you a credit card. Don't go crazy with it. Don't be using it. Use it for your gas and stuff, but get you a credit card. It's probably going to be a little bit higher limit, because a lot of credit card companies, they look at the limits that you have. Like I say, not everybody going to do this, because they can see that's an authorized user, but it's going to help. Now you got you a car and a credit card. Now you can be removed off their card. You get removed off their card now. You sitting pretty. You got you a car. You probably gonna be 700, around 700 credit score. And they call it, it's you still consider baby credit, because all you got is, those two trade lines, your credit card and auto loan. But you got what you needed to do. You got it at a decent interest rate. Now that you have that car, you're good. As long as you make that payment, as long as you make those payments on time, take care of the credit card. Next time you go get a car a couple of years from now, you ain't gonna have a problem getting a car. You're gonna be prime credit. You make all those payments on time, keep that credit card in good standing. You're gonna be prime credit when you go to get your next car. Then this the time that you go get what you want. Now you go get the car you want. You want that 40, $50,000 car. Now you're gonna go be able to get that at 4.9, 3.9, 2.9. You know what I'm saying? You don't even got to wait 3, 4 years. It could be 2 years. Oh, I had this car for 2 years, made all the payments on time. Now you can go get that car you want. It's going to be at a decent rate, or you can refinance this car, whatever you want to do. Now you set yourself in position. Credit is not hard to build, guys. It's just really being responsible and being a little bit patient, but and just taking responsibility, because the biggest thing, like I said, people with bad credit, they don't want to take responsibility for the decisions they've made in the past. First thing, you got to take responsibility for the decisions you made in the past. Don't beat yourself up about it. Let's just move forward. How we gonna fix it? That's what you got to do. So like I said, the reason I made this, because I saw people talking about predatory lending. It's not necessarily predatory lending when they the only ones that would give you a loan, because you haven't shown that you've been responsible in the past. So they gave you a loan when no one else would. So that's why, like I said, I had a 23% interest rate. I didn't look at it as predatory. I knew I was paying a lot, but it's like, this is where I'm at, and they willing to take this chance on me. So that's all I needed, is for you to take that chance on me, so I can. My whole plan was, I got to get this up quick so I can refinance it. But now I got this. Now I got that history. I got that paid off auto loan once I refinanced it. Because once you refinance a loan, it shows that loan was paid off. The loan that you refinance, it shows it was paid off. So now I got this paid off auto loan, and I was able to get that much lower APR, and everything changed. But you can't look at it as predatory. You got to look at, I'm paying for a lot of my past mistakes. I'm paying for that. I'm getting the opportunity to rectify that, because if you're paying it on time, it's gonna build your credit. Even if you consider predatory, it's gonna get your credit up. But like I said, you're gonna pay so much for that car. You want to make sure you get something affordable. Don't go crazy and getting, trying to be fancy, and I gotta have this, I gotta have leather. Just get some transportation, just to get you to the next step. Because this ain't got, I always tell people that this don't got to be your dream car. You ain't got to keep this forever. When I have people that's trying to build their credit and they got credit challenges, this don't got to be your dream car. Just get something that you can deal with for the next year or two, that you can make the payments on time, something that's affordable for you. You can make the payments, then refinance it, or trade it in, then you're gonna be able to get something better. So that's all I want to say to you guys today. If you guys got any questions about the car business or anything like that, just put a comment on here and let me know. I'll try to answer that. If y'all had, if you want to know anything about something that come to something when it comes to buying cars. All right. Uh, hit the subscribe button too, and hit the like button, share the video if you know somebody's trying to build credit. If you need to know a place to get trade lines, if you don't have a family member or don't know, I can tell you some places where you can do that too.